Welcome to the American School Counselor Association's YouTube channel. My name is Jill Cook and I'm an Assistant Director at ASCA. And today we're going to talk about the Recognized ASCA Model Program, or RAMP. And joining me today is Erin Crawley. She is a school counselor at Hayfield High School, Hayfield Secondary School in Alexandria, Virginia. Welcome, Erin.
Thank you so much for having me, Jill, and thank you to ASCA as well.
Our pleasure. So tell us a little bit about Hayfield, about your school and your community.
Absolutely. So we're located in Fairfax County, Virginia, which is just south of DC in Alexandria, Virginia. Our county has about 24 high schools, and we are nestled kind of in the southern part of the county. We border Fort Belvoir, Virginia, so we have a wonderful military family presence. Hayfield is a 7 through 12 school. My department supports the high school side of that school. And we are currently at about 28% free or reduced lunch. We also have roughly 33% white families, 28% African American, 20% Hispanic. So a very plural, diverse, wonderful school where students really learn how to collaborate and work cohesively and celebrate each other's differences.
How long have you been at Hayfield?
I have been there for 4 years now, and I was actually a Hayfield alum as well.
Oh, what's that like coming back to your school as a school counselor?
Really awesome. It's been great to kind of return to my roots and really help support the community that I benefited from and was a part of as well.
Oh, how wonderful. What a wonderful opportunity.
Yeah, thank you.
So tell us a little more about your counseling department and how you came to comprehensive school counseling programming. Is that something that was in place before you got there, or was it a very conscious decision your department made to begin the journey?
Yeah, certainly there were kind of roots already in place. Fairfax County has a lot of support from ASCA, and also they really help drive comprehensive school counseling practices in each of its schools. My director, Mr. Alfonso Smith, and I started at the same time, and we collectively, along with our team of counselors, made the decision to kind of move us along in that direction. And luckily, with the support of Fairfax County, we were able to kind of take it one step at a time each year. So each year we would add a different element of comprehensive school counseling program, and then decided to take the leap to go for RAMP last year.
And I think what you said is so important, that it's a process. It's a big piece to bite off to think you're going to do the whole comprehensive programming or even the whole RAMP application just immediately or in 1 year. It's a process.
Absolutely, and it takes time to bring everybody together, to use that common language, to learn the details about how you can use data to work for you in closing achievement gaps and in propelling students towards success systemically. But we certainly grew a lot in the process and are excited to continue moving forward as a community.
How many school counselors are in your department?
We have 7 school counselors and 1 director of student services, and we also have a career center specialist. So it's a great team of really valued and wonderful professionals.
One of the questions we get a lot at ASCA for high school counselors is, how are there any things going on besides alpha breakup in terms of assigning counselors to students? How are you all divided in terms of is it alpha, or do you have expertise areas that each of you take on?
Sure. So we all have our standard caseload, which is by alpha. So what we really love about that is being able to work with those students. We are the high school side, so working with them for those 4 years. So there's nothing more rewarding than calling their names at graduation, which is something we get to do. We also have what's called diversified staffing duties. So based on our skill sets and our interests, we all are in charge of other programming. It might be leading a unit for a grade level. It might be running a small group, or doing some of the college and career partnering programs as well.
So given that you're a pretty large department, how did you really approach the ramp process and how you did that work? Given that you had it there, but then you have to sort of put it in this format so it can be read by somebody who doesn't know anything about your school. How did you do that work?
Absolutely. Well, we set out a pretty extensive plan, knowing how involved the application is, many different parts. At the beginning of the year, we set deadlines for ourselves and individuals to take on certain portions of the application. We then had kind of subcommittees edit those portions. So each area didn't just have one set of eyes on it. And then at the very end, we would go through each section as a team of 7 counselors. And so it really helped keep our voice unified. It helped us keep each other in check and hold each other accountable. And it helped us learn from each other's strengths as well.
Were there any challenges to the application process, and how did you deal with those?
Yeah, I think with setting out to do any program this big, sometimes maybe the outcomes don't end as much as you maybe would have liked, right. Or things kind of evolve organically as you work through the process. We also had some staffing changes, so when that happens, you have to adjust. Right. But ultimately, we worked through each of those things by, reminding ourselves to be flexible, right. And take to this process the perseverance and the grit that we try to instill in our students. And we had to look deep within ourselves as individual counselors and as a team to act in that way as well.
So have you seen an impact of not just RAMP in particular, but the comprehensive programming in more broadly, in terms of the impact not only on your department, but the kids in your school?
Absolutely. It's been so the RAMP year where we took the data from and we analyzed. We did meet some of those goals. There were some that we didn't meet. We didn't quite hit the percentages right. that we set out. But looking now that it's been a couple years, we are seeing some data that's very promising, that's showing that we are taking students in the right direction, especially with some of our achievement gap data around college matriculation. And so seeing the longer term and the progressive impact on students, even if it wasn't right away, has been incredibly rewarding and affirming of the work that we're doing.
Was there any section of the application of those 12 components that was particularly something you struggled with as a department?
I think I would say some of the broader ones that really do require a lot of pieces. Right. So tying in the action plans and the lessons and the results, it certainly requires a lot of focused time and energy, and but it also helped us focus together. It was a tool for helping us focus our efforts a little more. And I will say, I think some people get stuck, especially at the high school level, on the small group counseling component. As a lot of schools know, high school it's difficult to coordinate. It's difficult, right. The actual logistics of delivering a small group program. And what really helped our team is we worked together on specific small groups. So each counselor would be in charge of a different component of the actual intervention, of the actual program. Okay. So we all truly shouldered these larger initiatives together, and that really helped keep things going forward, so that as many students as possible could be serviced.
And so did you select those groups that were to be offered based on the goals and where you were trying to move students or a group of students?
Absolutely. So definitely based on some of the achievement gap data that we gleaned, and also countywide and school-wide initiatives. It helped us tailor what we were trying to do, so we could focus our efforts on where that's most needed.
Do you have any advice for schools thinking about applying for RAMP?
Absolutely. Number one is this quote stuck with us as a team. Colin Powell, it just still sticks with me, which is optimism is a force multiplier. It took me a little while to get there for myself, because I'm a detail-oriented and you want to do it right all the time, and are we ready, are we not? But what also helped kind of push us over the edge, we had some really energetic people on the team that helped give us the confidence to go for it. A little bit of faith was required to first kind of take that leap. But also, we decided to go for it, and we weren't going to worry about being perfect. Yes, follow the rubric as best as you can,
Absolutely.
but don't be intimidated by it. Don't let that keep you from chunking away, from working at it. And it's a process, but the more you do it, the better better results gonna come at the end. And that's that grit, I think, which is what we always tell our students they need to do. We had to find that in ourselves. And it's a really funny joke. My boss, our director, and at our first meeting where we said we're gonna make the decision to do this, we actually served each other. We brought grits to the meeting, and we served grits, and it was like, because the whole phrase is, "Do you got grit?" And it's like,
Right.
"Oh no, but I got some grits," and that's a starting point. So that the little bit of humor and not taking ourselves too seriously to get started is what really helped us move forward.
I love that story. I'm going to share that, just so you know. Well, Erin, thank you so much for sharing about Hayfield and about your school and about your journey with RAMP and comprehensive school counseling.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you to ASCA as well.
Our pleasure. And thank you for joining the American School Counselor Association's YouTube channel.